Hello, my name is Cassie Koelsch. I am a front-end developer at TBS Factoring. I've been developing for about 3 years. Today I'm going to talk about learning how to do pull requests in GitHub. I will be moving pretty fast because it's a lightning talk, so I'm hoping sometime this week to maybe make a blog post so that if you want to look at this later and go back and try it yourself, you can, because if you're new to Git, it could be very overwhelming at first. A few things. Let's start with the basics. What is Git? What is GitHub? Git and GitHub are two different things. Git itself is a version control system. When you're coding, you're often going to have a whole bunch of different versions you're going to do. When you work with another developer, they're going to have a bunch of different versions as well. And Git gives you a way of combining those, keeping track of those, making sure you don't lose things. And so you can use Git just on your local machine, your computer, by itself without GitHub or anything else. GitHub, on the other hand, is a development platform. It's where you can store your code and your Git versions in the cloud. There is a bunch of different types of these. There's also Bitbucket, there's GitLab, there's even more than that. It's similar to the way you can store your documents in Dropbox, but there's also Google Drive, there's also iCloud, there's a million different ways. I picked GitHub because GitHub is what is most popular. It's what most people use, but I've used a lot of Bitbucket in the past as well. I'm going to go over a few terms before I show you how to do a pull request. A repository, we often also call it a repo, is a collection of the files and folders to make up a project. When somebody says the repository, they're just talking about all the things that go into a project. The directory, this is in your terminal, you'll often hear the people refer to a directory. It's also called a folder. So if you're not used to using a terminal, you may be confused by that. When we say directory, we mean folder. Some Git terms: when you fork something, you are making a copy of someone else's repository, someone else's project, and you're making it into bringing their code into your GitHub account. After we've forked something and brought something into our own GitHub account, then you want to clone it to your computer. It's in the cloud in GitHub, but if it's not yet on your computer, you can clone it. You also might clone your own project if you have started it in GitHub and you want to put it on your own computer. When we're working in Git, it's kind of like a tree. As you code, you're coding up the tree. If you want to make a different version but keep your master looking good, you might make a branch, just like a tree branch, and you might go off and you might make some changes, and if you like those changes, you might merge your branch back in with the rest, or if you made some big mistakes, you can just discard that. So a branch is kind of just making other versions in separate areas. And usually a good practice is to always make a branch if you're making new features or if you're doing a bug fix. It's not very polite to code straight on the master branch when you're working with other people, because it can frustrate people very quickly. And then a pull request is you are asking someone else to pull your code into theirs. I was very confused about this when I first started because I thought I was pushing my code into theirs. They are pulling your code into theirs. So a pull request, you're requesting to be pulled. So today I'm going to show you how to do a pull request. We're going to be working with this repo. It's called Learning Pull Requests. It's on my GitHub. And I can send you guys a link later if you want to work with this. Because I'm trying to show you how to do a pull request, I'm going to be working with 2 different GitHub accounts. So Cassie Koelsch is my current one. The repo, we're going to pretend like that's somebody else. And so we're going to be working in the GitHub account that's CM Koelsch. So hopefully that doesn't confuse you. So we're in here. We're going to start by going to that link. I should have had that link pulled up first. And now I can't find my mouse. There we go. Here it is. Okay. So I'm looking at this as if I was someone else. So we're going to take this repo and move it into our own account. We're going to press this button up here that says fork, and it simply is forking it for us. And now we see, now I'm in my own account. If you look up here at the top, it says forked from. So I have my own copy in my GitHub account of this repository. Now I want to take this repository and put it on my computer. So I'm going to use this clone, but before I do that, I need to open up my terminal. I have it here. I did have it really big. Hope you can see it. Usually when you open your terminal, it's probably white if you've not done anything. I have just messed with the settings to make it black, so hopefully that doesn't confuse you. So I am at the root of my computer. Usually I'd suggest putting your projects in like a documents folder or a projects folder. I am very simply going to put mine on my desktop of my computer for now. So I'm going to CD, which is change directories, changing folders, onto my desktop. And now I'm on my desktop, and that's where I'm going to put what we're going to clone. So I'm going to get clone. I'm going to go back over to where I was, and where it is, I want to clone with HTTPS. I'm going to press this button, which is just going to copy the link. And I'm going to paste the link here. Get clone, and I'm going to copy that. It pulls it down. And now I actually have the file on my desktop, because that's where I cloned it. My file's in here. I have a README. I'm going to open this. I'm opening it with Atom. That's the text editor I like. But you can open it with Sublime or anything. So we're simply going to add name to the list and save it. So I have made my code changes for this repository. So I had somebody else's code, brought it to my own computer, and now I made some code changes, and I've saved it. And we're going to go back over into our terminal, and we're going to do a get status. It just tells us, gives us an overview of anything that happened. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I missed a step. I need to actually go into that folder. So I'm going to change directory into that folder, learning pull requests. Now I can do a get status. Okay, I have one modified file, the README file. That's the file that we just changed. Git is telling us that we've changed it. And it gets very good because it gives us some information about it. It says these changes are not staged for commit. Hey, that's really hard to read. So what we want to do is we want to commit these files. When you make a commit, you're kind of gathering up all the changes you've made, you're saving them, you're putting a message on it saying, this is what I saved, and you're saving a version. So commit is kind of like saving a version. So the first step in making a commit is we need to add the files to the commit. We want to add this file. Sorry, we always start with git, add, readme.md. And we added that file. You see nothing comes up, but we can do a get status to check it again. Now it's green because we've added that file. Sometimes you might have a million files and you only want to add a few. That's why it makes you take that extra step before we commit. So now we've added our file because it's green. We're going to commit it. Git commit. I'm going to use the flag M so I can make a message. And I'm going to put add Casey. You can put whatever you just did, whatever. It's just a message to say what this version's about. In this version, I have added my name. Okay, and it says I've changed one file. I did just make this change on the master branch, which is why it says master. So let's go ahead and make another branch real fast and make a change on the other branch, like you would do if you were adding a feature. So let's add a branch. Let's get checkout. Checkout means I'm going to check out and look at what another branch is. We don't actually have another branch, so I'm going to add the flag B to make the branch, and I'm going to name it. I always add my initials just to say that it's my branch, and you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to name it new, because we're just going to have a new branch. And you can see immediately that I've switched to the other. I'm going to clear this just so that it goes up to the top and you can see it better. So now I'm in a new branch. It's an exact copy of the branch I was just on, but now I'm able to make other changes. So let's go ahead and open that file again. And I'm going to add my last initial to that and save it. Now, when I do a get status, I see that I've made another change. So I'm going to get add and get status. It's green again. And now I'm going to commit it with added my last initial. Okay, so I've made some changes. And now I have on my, if I go back to my master branch and look at my code, I will see I don't have my last initial because I made it on this branch. So I want to move my last initial back into my master branch. So let's check out the master branch again. We're going to move back to the master. And now we're going to merge the branches, make them go together. Get, merge, CK, new. Okay, and it added it. So now both my changes are on the same branch. If I did a get status, I will see that I have two commits that I've made because I made one on this branch and one on the other. So I made my changes. Let's do a pull request. I'm on my computer. I need to get this into the cloud. I need to get it to GitHub. So I am going to do a get push and push it up back to my account. Oh, goodness. It's going to give me problems with my username and password. There we go. So I'm putting in my username and password for GitHub, so it will push up to GitHub. And there it goes. It's pushing up. And it says push from my master branch on my computer to my master branch in GitHub. If I go back over here, I'm still in, this is my account right here, because I can see it because it says forked from. And I'm going to refresh. Now I see down here, it just updated. It has my new code here, KCK. Now I want my name to be added to the original code. So we're going to go back over here to the original one. And you can see it's not there because it hasn't been merged. And we're going to do a pull request. Now I want to compare across forks. It gives you a nice little link here. And we're going from my branch to their branch. And I can give it a title to my pull request. It says it's able to merge, and I can leave a comment if I'd like, and I can create a pull request. So now I will just wait until the person who owns the repository will approve that, and then my code will now be in with theirs. I know that was super fast. I'm going to go ahead and make that blog post so you can try this and follow along, and I'll accept any pull requests if you want to try to add your name to that markdown document there, so feel free to. You can find me at Cassie Koelsch, anywhere where you use a handle. I'm on Twitter, I'm on GitHub and Slack, so if you have any problems with the pull request or you need help walking it through, I totally don't mind. So, thank you.